Hey guys, I am out here in the savannas and it is flooded. The whole trail is flooded. But I'm out here today. It's been a while. It's been raining for the past few weeks almost nonstop. Everything is pretty flooded here when it's not. And when the sun's out, it's like a giant sauna out here. But anyway, that's not what I'm out here to talk about. I'm out here to talk about one of my worst enemies and most feared things on the trail, especially in the southeast of the United States. And they're not spiders. So are we talking mosquitoes? No, even though they are one of my worst insect. I can't stand them, especially this time of year. But it's not mosquitoes. So they have to be ticks, right? Those nasty disease little critters that everybody hates. But no, they're not. My most feared insect, or if you, it's not even an insect, is the chigger. If you live in the southeast part of the United States, you're probably very familiar with chigger. It goes by harvest mite, mow mite. It goes by, down here in Florida, we always call them red bug. But its real name is a trumbiculide mite. And it really isn't even an insect. It's an arachid, like a spider or a tick. Like Arachnophobia. Everybody's seen that movie. So they're a small, very common critter here in Florida, Georgia, I think, pretty sure Alabama, Tennessee, all the southeastern states. They don't like cold weather. I guess once it gets below 45 degrees Fahrenheit, they tend not to be around. Because when I grew up in the Catskill Mountains up in New York, I don't even remember anything called a chigger or a red bug, but who knows. So anyway, chiggers, they are horrible little critters. And it's not the adult chigger that bites you. It's the baby small larvae that gets you. And it's, I think it's 0.3 millimeters. They're microscopic. You find them on just about any surface, especially when you're out backpacking. You'll come to a campsite, you'll see those nice beautiful logs around the campsite, around the fire pit and all that, and they're all over that. They're all over high grass. They're all along the rocks and streams. They're pretty much on any surface that you can imagine. I want to tell you about my recent experience with chiggers. In, I think it was March, I guess, or I think it was even earlier, that February here in Florida. It's always warm. So I was up in an area around Kissimmee Lake, and I was out carrying wood. And I was chopping wood, and I'll show you maybe a picture here of me dragging some wood. Campfire, and I had it down along my legs, and I get back and I'm sitting down on a bench, and I feel something on my leg. So I immediately pull my pants down and I see this red blotch, and I actually seen these little things crawling around on my leg. Well, they haven't bit me yet. So let me tell you what a chigger does. These small 0.3 millimeter larvae baby ticks, they get on your clothing and they find an appropriate place, which is usually around your hips and your legs, behind your legs, your arms, to take those sharp little teeth of them and bite you. Once they bite you, they excrete this saliva that turns the cell into this mushy mucus. And why do they do that? Because for a week or so, they'll feed on that. Once they do that, then you start, if you don't know about them, you start to itch. And then these little red bumps appear. Let me show you. This picture you're looking at right now was a picture right around here on me. Anyway, I saw them there. I had no way of you can't wash them really because I'm out in the backcountry. So luckily, I bring an adult beverage with me, and this, at the time I had a little bottle of vodka, and I know this is alcohol abuse, but I went ahead, poured some of that on my hand and rubbed it over there. And I'll tell you what, those chiggers, baby larvae, died. I did not have a problem with them. So you'd think I'd learned my lesson, right? No. I go up into Georgia, Alabama, I'm hiking, of course, again, I'm sawing wood, and again, I get them, the first time, that picture I showed you was from up around Georgia, Alabama. I don't know where I got them, either one of those two places. I think Alabama because I was carrying wood there, but that's where I got them on my torso right here. The other time, the original time, I don't have a picture of that, but it was on my leg. So I thought nothing, what the heck? I thought nothing of it. And so I come back home and I start itching, I start scratching, and these little bumps started to appear, and I said, oh damn, I've got chiggers. So at that point, pretty much you gotta wait it out. It takes a good week, 2 weeks, rubbing alcohol on them, putting calomel. I haven't really found anything that works after the bumps appear. So you pretty much have to wait it out. There's no real disease from them that I know of. If you scratch them a lot, I guess they could get infected. But other than that, I haven't heard. The best thing to do is just leave them alone. Don't scratch them. Don't irritate them. I know it's hard to do, but that's what you got to do. So how do you protect yourself from that? Well, the first thing is, life through chemistry, sprays. I particularly have no problem using permethrin. I spray my pants on them, I spray my socks, my shoes, and I spray a lot of my items. The one thing that I always forget to spray, which to me makes no sense why we don't do it, is our Z-seat. When we go into a camp, what's the first thing we put down on a log? What's the first thing we sit down on the ground? We sit on these Z-seats, or whatever you use in place of that. I'd spray the hell out of this, and in the future I'm going to spray the hell out of it. Some other protections, there's all sorts of chemicals or sprays and that on the market. I'll put things up there. There's a thing called an organic one. It's a little expensive. It's called TikTok. Permethrin, there's Picaridin, there's just a whole bunch of them. I'll put them all up in a link and let you show you what the ones I recommend are. But I do spray everything down with permethrin. I think that helps a lot with ticks. Obviously it didn't help so much with red bug. Is that one on me now? No. So the other thing you can do is make sure you wear long pants, long sleeves. I know everybody likes to hike out in shorts and that. If so, I would definitely put some kind of spray or something on my legs. If you wear long pants, you can also tuck those pants into your socks. I know it don't look real fashionable and all, but it's a lot better than getting chigger bites. Now, chiggers to me are horrible little critters because they last and they itch, and they're really hard to detect until you actually have a breakout on them. So here's what I recommend also. Prior to doing that, do the sprays, do all your spraying on your clothing, make sure you wear protective clothing. If for some chance you do find these little critters on you, and it could be even ticks or the chiggers or whatever bug it is out there, if you don't bring an alcohol beverage with you, an adult beverage with you, carry a little thing of denatured alcohol. For you guys that have alcohol stoves, you're all set. You've got it with you. You've already have the ointment needed to kill these little suckers when they're on you. But I would definitely, if you don't, make it part of your med kit. I mean, chances are you'll use this a lot more than a lot of other things in your med kit, but I'd put a little tiny bottle of isopropyl alcohol, probably like 90%, denatured alcohol, anything you could rub. If you see these little chiggers on you, just take and put a little bit in your hand, rub it on it, and that will take care of the problem. That will kill them. Especially some of that 99% alcohol you can purchase, or fuel alcohol. It's pretty strong, so that'll get rid of it. Other than that, chiggers are horrible, horrible, horrible little critters, and you know, ticks and mosquitoes are a close second to me. For some reason, these little things really, really love to get at me. So anyway, I'm out here in the savannas. Today was a pretty decent day. It's a 5-mile hike in, 5-mile hike out, but it's really covered in water. I'm telling you, we've had a good 3 weeks of rain, inches and inches of rain. The savannas out here are flooded. Every little place is flooded. You can see where all the boars, the hog trails are through here. And this is actually a little ridge I'm sitting up on right now. And unfortunately, here's another thing. I've been using my new Topo Ultra Venture trail runners, and they are wet and muddy right now. I didn't want to get them all dirty, but you know, I did. I probably, you know, I've walked a lot of flat surfaces on that and trails like this, and haven't put a lot of miles on it, but I'm telling you, I love, love, love these shoes. All right, this is that little ridge I was just sitting on. Kind of sits up, you can't see, but it does look out over the savannas, and really I can't get out too close to them right now unless I had my kayak out here, which is another thing. I am in the market for a new kayak. It's going to be a different from the one I had, not as heavy, a very light one. And I want one no more than 35-40 pounds to maneuver around, so I'm in the market for that right now. I'm not going to go a whole summer without a new kayak. So anyway, this is what trail looks like. It's wet, it's muddy, it's wet and muddy. And my new shoes are getting all wet and muddy. Whew. It's wet and marshy. Only got in about 2.5 miles in, and it just got deep in there. And then I have to bushwhack around the trail through the grass and talk about bugs. And there was one of the things made me turn around and come back. I'm going bushwhacking around, and next to me was like some little deeper water. And sure enough, slithering right by me, I don't know if it was a water moccasin or what, but it was a snake swimming in the water. And I didn't get it on film, of course. I shuffling around my camera and it was gone, but it freaked me out. It got a little yelp out of me like a little girl. All right, there's the truck. I'm out of here. Wow, what a peaceful place right here. You know, you come in off the road, probably a good 2 or 3 miles down a dirt road. There's not a person out here. It's probably because the water's so high, but my gosh, the wind's starting to kick up a little bit. It's getting real breezy right now. I can see some clouds moving off to the east that way as a crow flies. Can't use that term anymore. The ocean's probably 4 or 5 miles that direction. So that is south, north, east, west this way. So the camera right now is kind of facing in a northeast position, and the wind's coming right at my back. And you can see the clouds starting to move in, and it's supposed to be about a 60% chance of rain today. Temperatures aren't too bad for here in Florida right now. With this breeze and all, it's probably only about 82, 83 degrees. I know that's warm, but this breeze feels awesome. I don't want to leave. I got things to do. It was a nice hike back in there, a little wet, but gosh, very nice. It's been a while since, it's been 3 weeks now since I came back from my trip. So this feels really good. So anyway, I better jump in the truck and get back to the real world. Yuck. And figure out something for my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Nancy. And that should do it. So again, thanks for following Walker's World. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.